Hey, we're still live. We're here in San Leandro at History in the Making Entertainment Studios. Make sure you come this way when you meet California. When you're in San Leandro, come out and see Ram, and he'll take care of all your media needs. You know, there's a growing demand for natural hairstyling, and it's a crossover in culture. It's not just a black thing, but you have all ethnicities now wanting to wear hair with texture. I'm happy to say that I have on my team a phenomenal natural hair stylist. Her name is Sharon Campbell, and she's the owner of World of Braids International Texture Salon in Oakland, California, on Telegraph Avenue in Oakland. So Sharon is going to show you some techniques that are very popular and that are kind of a hidden secret to some people. So we want to reveal today how to do certain things with natural hair. And then we're going to come back with a full-blown, not just technique, but styles presentation with Sharon and her entire staff at the World of Braid Salon. So let's welcome her right now as she comes and gives us some incredible techniques on natural hairstyling. All right.
Hi, my name is Sharon Campbell, and I'm with World of Braids in Oakland, California. And today we are going to be talking a little bit about natural hair. I also am going to be demonstrating a couple of ways to achieve lock extensions, or just simple ways of just locking your hair. To do that, today we're going to be using a mannequin to demonstrate the procedure that we use to do the lock. The first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to create dreadlocks from scratch. There's different ways to start a lock, but some people just want to have the lock. It takes approximately about 6 months to a year to get your hair locked. Some people have the patience to wait. Some people just don't want to wait, and they just want to see their hair in locks. So for the people that don't have the patience to wait 6 months to a year, that's not a problem. We can achieve the same look of a natural hair lock, creating it from scratch, and you will never know the difference. So the first thing we need to do for that is, first of all, we need to know approximately the length that the person wants to achieve. There are a variety of different nappy, I'll call it, or texture, or curly extension hair at the beauty supplies that you can use. In this case, for the base, I have a hair that is not very curly. It is curly, but it's not as curly as the hair that goes on the outside of the lock. So the first thing we do with the open hair is to braid the hair on the lock, the base hair. What we do, we just attach the hair to the person's natural hair, and we can start it with just a little bit of braiding. If you don't braid, there is different ways that you can attach it, and I'll be demonstrating some other ones. So once the hair is attached, we use another texture of still over curly hair, kinky hair, nappy hair, whatever you prefer. And depending on the thickness of the lock that you're trying to achieve, you're going to use a latch hook needle like they used to make rugs, and you're going to go under the braid, pull the hair through. First, you are going to wrap the hair around the braid that you have, and you're going to go clockwise. You don't want to put too much pressure on it because you don't want it to look artificial. So you're gonna wrap clockwise, and then you're gonna take the other part of the hair and continue wrapping. You can use the back of your index finger to hold the hair in place so it wouldn't come loose. And as I said before, you don't want to put too much pressure because you don't want it to look artificial. You want it to be kind of nappy, kind of hairy, just like a natural lock. If the lock that you are creating is longer than the length of the hair, because the nappy hair comes in only two lengths, 12 inches and 16 inches. So if the hair, the lock that you're creating is longer, you take another piece of hair, you're gonna hold it with your pointing finger and your thumb. You're gonna wrap the shorter end, you're gonna go clockwise, and the rest of the hair, you gotta go counterclockwise. And you gotta just continue wrapping until the desired length. Once you get to the end of the lock, you're gonna have a little bit of straight hair hanging. Some people like to just leave it like that. Once this hair is wet, it just curled up. And some people like the finished look. So if you want to have a finished look, you just take the hair that's left over and just wrap it back, going in an upward motion. And you do the same thing with the other side until your lock is made. To finish my lock, I like to use the Madrid Golden Hairdress Pomade. It's a little waxy. It works like a beeswax. I just put a little bit on my finger, rub it in the palm of my hand, and I just palm roll my lock. Before you start locking, you should consult with your customer to finalize the length of her locks. And based on the length that she is trying to achieve, you will determine the amount of locks that you're going to put on her hair, the size of the locks you're going to do for her. You don't want to, if he or she wants longer locks, it would be better if you start the locks a little bigger in size. The size of your lock should be minimum an inch square around if the lock is about 8 to 10 inches. If the lock is 12 inches over, maybe an inch and a half in square. And the reason you want to determine this thing is because once you finish doing the whole head, you want it to appear as natural as possible. You don't want to put too many locks on one head. You have to make sure that the square that the lock is sitting on is enough to support the weight of the lock. If you try to put a lock on too much of a small portion of hair, the problem with that is over time the weight of the lock will weaken your hair and you would have breakage. You would lose your lock. So make sure you have the proper size of base that you're going to sit your lock on, so it will be enough to support the lock. the shorter the lock, the smaller you can go. Eventually, in a couple of years, when this lock grows in naturally, once it passes over 10 inches, the next thing that you can do is go ahead and merge a couple of locks so they can have enough base to sit on. So once we finish palm rolling our lock, that's basically what it looks like. And nobody will know that it didn't took you 5 years to grow this lock. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and demonstrate the hair locking extension technique one more time. So what we're gonna do, as I said before, we have to make sure we have a consultation with the customer to know exactly the size of the locks. Locks come in different sizes. Some people like them really thin, and some people like them a little thicker. So before we start making them, we should have a consultation with the person that's getting them done to make sure we know exactly the size of the locks. And based on the size of the lock, we'll be able to determine how many locks we're going to put on the hair. Also, depending on the length that they're trying to achieve, we should make sure we know exactly how many locks we're going to need to put on the hair so it wouldn't look artificial, it wouldn't be too big, and it wouldn't be too thin. Once again, once we know the sections of the lock that we're making, the size of the lock, it should be from about 1 inch to an inch and a half big. We really don't want to do them too much smaller than that, nor too much bigger than that. If we do them too much bigger than that, we may have too many gaps in between. And if we do them too much smaller than that, we're running the risk of the locks breaking off eventually. So once again, we are gonna use some of this here, but before that, we're gonna start with a little braid. That's not the way I did it before. Okay. We start with a little braid. We can do just a little braid of the person here. With our latch hook needle, we are going to go through the hair, pull the hair through, and to really attach this here, we are going to go clockwise. When this hair is really attached, we're going to take the rest of the hair separate it so we could use some of as the base, and we're just gonna wrap. And as I said before, we don't want to wrap it too tight so it wouldn't look artificial and really shiny. We are just putting enough tension on it so it can be tight enough but still looks natural. We're going to be using some of the less nappy here, and this one is going to be our base and our length. We make sure we braid it in so we can secure the base, what we call the base. This is basically where the lock is going to be sitting on, especially if the person here is not as long as the lock we're trying to create. So once we have the hair attached, We're gonna take our curlier hair, go through with our latch hook needle, pull it through, and we're gonna continue wrapping clockwise. This what we're doing here is basically to get the hair attached to the lock. Once we did this, we can come around and keep wrapping the hair with just enough tension so it will be secure, but not too tight so it would look fake. Okay. When we run out of hair, the best way to continue wrapping, we hold another little piece of hair, another section of hair. Remember, we want to make sure we're consistent with the amount of hair we're holding to make sure the lock are one size. To get it attached, we are gonna wrap this piece of hair. We're gonna go counterclockwise to get the piece of the hair attached. And once it's completely attached, we just continue going clockwise. Remember to use your index finger to hold the hair in place. We're gonna continue wrapping until we run out of hair. If the lock that we're trying to achieve is longer than, let's say, 10 inches, and if you run out of the hair that you use for the base, you can always go back and use some more base hair and get it attached to the other base or to the remaining of the base. Make sure it's attached the best way you can. You can braid it in, you can tie it in, you can glue it in. Just make sure it's attached. So that way we extend our base. Once we get our base extended, we continue wrapping. First we're gonna go counterclockwise. And then we gotta go clockwise. Gotta go counterclockwise. It takes approximately anywhere from 10 to 20 hours to create a full head of fabricated locks. It's normally done in 2 days or 2 sittings. The longer the locks are, the more hours it takes. When you get to the desired length, you just wrap your end back in an upward motion to seal the lock. It's recommended not to wet your hair, not to get your hair wet for at least 30 days after you get your lock fabricated, to allow the hair to really sit and really locked. Give it a chance to really locked. Okay, once we finish with the lock, we're gonna use some of our Madrid golden hairdress pomade, and this is a wax that we use to help in the process of locking. Once we use a little bit of that around the hair, we can go ahead and give it a little bit of shine. We like to use the Madrid silk essence for that. And this is another lock. Another technique that I want to show in this demonstration video today is how to repair a lock. Sometimes for different reasons, locks become weak in certain areas, and sometimes they will have to get that very weak that they will break. If you ever see a lock that looks something like this, you know, it can be healthy at the beginning, and then certain parts of the lock are kind of thin. There's a way that we repair these locks and give it the strength that it needs right in the weak area so it wouldn't break. Whenever we see a lock that's weak in a certain area, what we do to repair it is we use the curlier or the nappier hair. We make sure we use our latch hook needle and we go in the lock. Make sure we make a little hole in the lock and go through it. The reason we go through the lock is to make sure that this hair has no way of falling out of the hair. And basically what we do is the same procedure as that we do when we're extending the lock. We wrap the hair around it counterclockwise, the shorter portion, and depending on the width of the lock, we are going to wrap the affected area, the area that is weak. So we're just gonna continue locking. Just go ahead locking. We're just gonna go around the lock. And this additional here that we are putting right in the middle, right on the affected area, is gonna support the lock to make sure it have the strength that it needs in order for it not to break. We're going to apply a little bit of our pomade, and this is going to be used as a sealer, and it's going to seal the hair in place. Remember, if you're getting your locks repaired, wait at least a couple of weeks before you wash it to make sure that the additional hair that we use to repair the affected lock get a chance to sit and mature, so it will be able to attach to your lock easier. So this is the technique that we use to repair locks. Well, moving right along with this natural hair locks extensions and repairs, we are going to demonstrate a different technique. What we're going to do is attach a broken lock. Sometimes for different reasons, locks get weakened and break off the hair. There is a way to attach your locks that you lose. There is ways to get them attached back in your hair. Nobody would know that it ever left your head. So the first thing we do is, this is the lock that we're going to attach to the customer's hair. As you can see, this lock is a little thinner than the ones that I created. You can create them this thin too. It's just a matter of the only difference is the amount of hair that we're using. So because this lock is a thinner lock, we got to make sure we put it on the right size base, and also we got to make sure that when we attach it, it has the same size as the rest of the lock. They're normally, all your locks are going to normally have the same width. Locks pretty much follow the curl in your hair. If your hair is over curly, your lock's most likely going to be thinner. If your hair have a bigger curl pattern to it, your locks are going to be a little thicker. So this lock this is a real lock that we got from somebody that the pattern in their hair is really curly. So that's why this lock is thin. So this is the way we're going to attach the hair on. Again, we're going to start with a little braid. And the reason we start them with a little braid is to create the anchor. So when we do the attaching, there's something to keep the hair from slipping out and just falling out again. So this time we're going to start directly with the curlier hair. We're going to pull it through the braid. And braid it down a little bit together. Then we're going to take the lock that we're replacing. We're going to take our latch hook needle and go through the lock. And once again, that is making sure that whatever attachment you do are not going to fall out. Once you go through the lock, it's assuring that it's going to stay attached. So once you pull it through the lock, you just secure it with a little bit more braiding. And once it's attached, we do the same thing as we did before. First, we're going to go counterclockwise. Then we're going to go clockwise. Until it's attached. We're going to use a little bit of our Madrid pomade. Rub it in our hand, and we're going to palm roll the lock. And what we're doing while we palm rolling the lock is making sure the size is going to be consistent. Making sure the lock is not going to have any lumps in it. Making sure we have a smooth lock. If there's any part that is not smooth, we take a little piece of hair and wrap it. A little bit more palm rolling. If by any reason we can see the attachment on the very base of the lock, we just get a thin piece of hair, not too much, make sure it's thin, go back in the braid and wrap it. The reason why I'm using two different colors of hair is so you can see the process. Little wrapping. Your lock is attached, and there's no way it's coming out of there. Continue right on with our educational video. I just want to let you guys know that there is different ways of achieving locks. Some people are not interested in having their locks grow overnight, or a longer length. Some people like to just use their own hair, lock their own hair, starting from scratch. The technique that I'm going to show you now, we call it latch hook, and it's a way of locking your hair. Is a different way of locking your hair. With this technique, we do the whole locking, but it takes a process of maturing. We'll lock your hair with a latch hook, with the same latch hook needle that we use here, and it takes from 3 to 6 months. For some people, it takes over a year for the locks to mature and look exactly like a lock. For the first 6 months to a year, it kind of looks like a braid, but eventually as it matures, it becomes a lock. So the way we do the latch hook technique, we go ahead and comb the hair out. If the hair is longer than, say, 4 or 6 inches, it's recommendable to maybe cut the hair a little bit. Eventually it will grow back, even though some people might not want to cut their own hair. The longer the hair is, the longer the process takes. It usually takes approximately 12 to 15 hours to do the latch hook in a head of hair. And it varies, depends on the length. As I said, if the hair is shorter, it takes less time. The more hair you have to work with, the more time it takes. So what we do, we take a little bit of braiding. We put a little bit of braiding at the very end of the hair. If you don't know how to braid, if you're not a braider, you can take the very end of the hair, twist it around, and make a little knot, a little loop knot. And the reason for this is because we're going to lock the hair from the root, from the end of the hair, go back to the root. And we need something to stop the needle from going straight through. So once we have that little knot there, we're going to pull the needle through. We're going to turn around, pull the needle through the hair, hold the end of the hair and pull it through. Okay, so we are pulling the needle through the hair, bringing it up to the top and pulling the hair through. So we're going to continue doing this. We smoothing the hair as we go. Make sure each time we pull the needle through the hair, we pull it all the way up to the top so we can lock the hair in place. And we gotta pull through. Try not to pull the needle through the same spot every time. You could just randomly choose a different spot to push your needle through. Pull it down. Make sure you lock your hair and pull out. Put your needle in, pull it up, and pull. Push your needle through, pull it out, and pull. And you're going to continue doing this until you get to the base of the hair. Once you finish one of these locks, it can be wet, you can go swimming, you can do whatever you want with it. Your hair is already locked. And it's never going to come out. Your hair will just continue growing from there. And as you get new growth, you come back to the salon and we just incorporate the new growth into the existing lock. And that's the way we do the latch hook lock. The technique that we're going to demonstrate now, it's called a comb twist. Comb twist is one of the most used and most effective way of locking natural hair. The majority of the people who got their hair locked started with a comb twist. The comb twist is achieved just with the customer's hair. The hair has to be 100% natural, free of any kind of chemicals. If the hair have any kind of chemicals in it, comb twist is not going to be the best way of starting your lock. To do a comb twist, what we need is a hair cutting comb or a barber comb that they teach us in cosmetology school. It has to be the comb that is thicker on one side and thinner on the end. That's the best comb to do the comb twist. What we're going to do, we're going to use some of the Madrid Ultimate Lock and Knot Twist. You could use different products to do a comb twist, but this is the one that we prefer to use because it's really light. It doesn't build up on the hair, and a lot of people likes to use gel, but we found that with the Madrid it's very soft, and as I say, it doesn't build up on the hair, and it dries very well without leaving any residues. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we have enough cream on the hair. We can go ahead and put the cream all over the hair so it can start making the hair soft, start emulsifying the hair. So once we have enough products on the hair, we're going to take the comb, hold it in an upward position, and we're going to go through the hair right at the base of the hair. We are going to twist the hair on the comb, and as we twist, we are going to turn. So we're going to pull, twist, pull and twist, pull and twist. This technique is so much easier with shorter hair. But if the hair that we're working with has a little bit more length, we have to make sure we twist and pull so the comb won't get tangled in the hair. This is what the twist is going to look like. The minute we make it, it's going to be longer than the regular hair. When it dry, it's going to shrink, and this is going to be the size of the twist. So we take the end of the comb, make our section, make sure the hair is combed out, free from knots. We're going to apply the product. If the hair is a little moistened, if the hair is wet, it just glides a little better. So if we're using gel, just apply the gel to the hair. But if we're going to be using the Madrid Lock and Twist pomade, we can moisten the hair a little bit with a bottle or spray bottle water. So once again, we are going to We're going to turn the comb in the base of the hair, twist and pull. Make sure we pull as we twist. If we don't pull as we twist, the hair is going to get tangled. If it's pulling on the customer's hair, we can hold the twist and pull. Hold the part that's already twist and pull. So we're pulling and twisting, pulling and twisting. So we make another section. And repeat our technique. A little bit of pomade, comb it through the hair. Make sure we sink our comb in the hair and we pull and twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist until we achieve the twist. If it's too loose, we can always comb it out, go back, and repeat it. The very first time you do these twists, they might not be very tight, but as you repeat the steps, you're gonna notice that each time they're gonna be tighter and tighter. The technique of locking your hair through the comb twist takes about 6 to 9 months for your hair to be fully locked. During this process, it's not advisable, it's not recommendable to wash your hair because the hair is just twist, it's not lock. It would eventually lock, but it takes, as I say, 3 to 6 months to wash. However, if you have the desire of cleaning your hair, if you need to clean your hair, there are dry shampoos that you can use to clean your scalp. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time. Cream, make sure you get it all over the hair. Sink your comb in the hair, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull. If you want to find out more information about the techniques that you saw on this video, you can visit our website at aworldofbraids.com. So go to aworldofbraids.com and you will get more information about the techniques that you saw today on this informational video. Or you can also find more information about it at Madrid Products. Yeah, I'm messing up. Okay. And you can, if you have any questions, you can call us at World of Braids. We're located at 1627 Telegraph Avenue in Oakland, California. Or you can call us. Our phone number is 510-451-4223. That number again is 510-451-4223. If you have any questions about what you saw today, or if you want to take one of our classes, or find more information about where you can purchase these videos, you can get them through us you can send us an email at worldofbraids@att.net. That's worldofbraids@att.net. Let me just do a few more without talking so you can just kind of see it. thank you very much for letting us come into your house today and share with you all these techniques about locks and lock extensions. As you see around, walking around in the street, locks are becoming very popular. Every day, more and more people are deciding to lock their hair. So we decided that this was a very good way for you to keep up with what's going on out there in the lock world and share some of our techniques. Continuing right along with the educational video, I'm going to show you the latch hook technique on a real person. As you can see, we started his locks. This is the second visit. It takes approximately 10 hours to complete a whole head, 10 to 15 hours depending on the size of the latch hook. So we already did a lot of hours, and now we're just finishing up. So the way we do the latch hook lock is we started with a little braid at the end, and then with our latch hook needle we begin to latch hook the hair. We start locking from the end of the hair up to the root, and we're going to continue pulling the latch hook through the hair. We got to make sure that each time we put the needle through the hair, we're going to make sure that the needle go in a different section. Try not to go in the same section twice. Just go around it, and just like that, keep latching it until you get to the end of the lock. So we just keep latching until we get to the end of the lock. And this is basically what our lock is going to look like. We use a little bit of the Madrid lock. Just kind of condition it. A little bit of the Madrid gel on the end. And here is your lock. Just making sure that our sections are consistent. It's going to take about approximately 3 to 6 months for this hair to be fully locked. This hair is going to stay like this and continue maturing over the time. And by 6 to 8 months approximately, his hair is going to be fully locked. And he would only have to come back in to get the root tightened. This is the